right now that's going on. It should last the rest of the month, but you can get that win node all in for $500, and that helps run the sales and marketing side of the network. You could also grab other project nodes depending on what project you're most interested in. I looked at the projects I thought I could move the needle in the most. I knew I could build a successful rideshare business. I knew I could build a successful software business in the video conferencing space. So I went pretty heavy in those projects. I love the idea of being healthier. I love the idea of knowing what I was putting in my body through Grow. I love the idea of the best crypto wallet and exchange I'd ever seen with Switch. So I did purchase a lot of the different nodes, but I looked at the ones I think that I could move the most, and that's where I kind of went heaviest. What are you most interested in? Which projects get you the most excited? And those are the projects you'd probably want to focus on. Our node network generates a total payout of 70% through the network, and blockchain technology timing is perfect. I know in 2021, the World Economic Forum said that blockchain is set to disrupt over $867 trillion in traditional markets. I heard recently, this was 2021, I just heard over the last few weeks, they put the number now at like 1.3 quadrillion, which is you don't use that word very often. Maybe I was on the playground in like second grade the last time I probably used the word quadrillion, but here it's legitimate. Like, it will be the largest shift of wealth and the largest opportunity, maybe not only of our lifetimes, but it'll definitely be the biggest in the history of the planet, but maybe for the history of the planet. I don't know if there'll be another disrupting technology that will disrupt 1.3 quadrillion or 867 trillion. To get started, it's pretty simple. Sign up for a free account, go through your compliance training, figure out what projects are your favorite, purchase some nodes in those projects, or sell 5 win nodes and they'll give you 1 free one, and you can start creating a massive community. I'm going to wrap up with compensation real quick. I want you to know how you can go out and take advantage of this project. It pays out a couple different ways. USDT, which is pretty much US dollars right away, that pays daily. And so you can make money to pay your bills, put food on the table, gas in the car, keep a roof over your head. Certainly you can do that right away. But there's also those token rewards that if we pull this off, and that's the big question, can we do it? And if we can, and you get a bunch of those token rewards, it could be life-changing for you if we end up pulling it off. Comp plan is pretty simple. It starts with win. I would tell people, grab a win node. A lot of people will get 5 of them. There's an algorithm that gives you points to basically be one of the top community builders and members, and it shares all the revenue every day. Pretty much 10% of the total revenue every single day is shared with the top community builders, top 50,000, top 5,000, top 500, and top 50. So if you get a win node, it's annual renewal, but the win node so far in its history, no one's ever had to take money out of their pocket to renew. It generates enough rewards that it pays for its own renewal. Now, that's not guaranteed either, but it's been doing it for several years, and I imagine it'll keep doing it, but that's the beauty of it. I guess if it didn't, I might not want to renew anyways. But the other projects, the nodes are lifetime. You get them one time, you got them forever. They're getting ready to NFT all of them. You can sell it through our internal marketplace now, but pretty soon they'll be NFT'd. All of our tokens, all of our blockchains, I mean, you could bridge them over to ERC20, move them on PancakeSwap, Uniswap, SushiSwap, MetaMask. You know, if you're not into crypto, that's all weird words, but people that are into crypto understand what that stuff is. And the node prices increase for every 100 nodes sold. They pretty much go up $100. So we got 2 new projects with Rev and Rally that are selling at $2,500 each. That's what they started at. That's the lowest price they'll ever be at, pretty much. There's already been several hundred of those nodes sold in pre-launch in the first couple days that they were available. So we're holding the price through the 5th of the month. Now, after that, it'll go up, depending on how many are sold, it'll go up accordingly. So this would be the cheapest those nodes will ever be. As far as comp plan, There's 3 different levels. We're looking to add a couple more for folks because we have a lot of leaders that are coming in building some pretty big organizations, and we want to incentivize them to help their teams grow. This does already. There's Droid. That's coming in, getting a Win Smart node. BlockBot, which is basically selling 5 Win Smart nodes. And then there's BlockBot Node, which is basically you have 5 BlockBots in your team would help you get to BlockBot Node. And there's different rewards at each different level. There's sales reward. There's what's called a 10% transaction reward. You bring me in, I buy some nodes, you get 10%. There's a confirmation reward. If you're running nodes, bring me in, you get 10% transaction reward. You could also get the confirmation reward. So now you're making 20%, potentially off the transaction and the confirmation. The first BlockBot, that's 10%. And then there's what's called the second BlockBot. So if you're a Droid, you're making 10% transaction reward. If you're a BlockBot, you're getting the 10% transaction reward, 10% BlockBot reward as well. So that's 20%. And as you bring in people, you can make a 10% override off that BlockBot 10% as a BlockBot 1. So somebody comes in and buys a Win node. If you're the transaction and it's direct sale, that's 10% to you. If you're the first BlockBot, another 10%, that's 20%. The node confirmation, let's say that's above you, 10% there. And then there's the BlockBot 2, the second BlockBot in the line. I don't want to get too in-depth into the comp, but there's a reason to help your people grow. As a BlockBot node, you get what's called a 5% open line down to the next BlockBot node. So if you had a line of 1,000 people and there were no BlockBot nodes in it, you'd be making 5% off all of them all the way down. If I was 120 levels below you in that leg and I got to BlockBot node, then I would cut your 5% off. You would still make a 3% override below though. So you'd still get that override. And then if someone under me, let's say Paul got to BlockBot node, he would cut off that 3% from you, but you would still make 2% all the way down to the next BlockBot. That's what we call a generational override. This would be a second generation override in that example. And then if finally somebody under Paul got to BlockBot, eventually it would cut you off just on this part of the comp plan. As far as the blockchain side with the rewards, it's pretty much points based and it runs infinitely down. There's node operator rewards. Basically for running your nodes, 10% of the daily revenue is shared to people that are running nodes. And then we've got the win score ranking distribution, meaning how much are you helping the community grow? How many people are you bringing into the community? How many nodes are those people moving? If you're in the top 50,000, they split 2.5% of the daily revenue with you. Top 5,000, 2.5%. Top 500, 2.5%. And if you're in the top 50, which is getting tougher and tougher to get into the top 50, you get 2.5% of the daily revenue. 70% total payout on the blockchain. Everything runs through the node network. There's no owners here. That's the other thing that's so different, and I love it. There's no ego. It's community owned, community run.